condensation ring was drawing on the wood. I took a napkin and a pen and said, what if we understood? What if the interference pattern isn't strange at all? What if it's just the wave going through and doing what waves always do against the wall? He leaned back on his stool and said, you'd have to tear the whole thing down. I said, I know, that's why I'm buying one more round. And the napkin's getting wet and the sketch is running thin, but the circle in the middle is the place where I begin. One line from the center and the rest is just a question drawn on a bar top before last call. What if we've been looking at this wrong? What if the answer was a napkin all along? The tab is running but the line is getting clear. What if the simplest thing is what we couldn't hear? One more round before they shut the lights. What if we're right? What if we're right? He said the guys with all the letters wouldn't take you past the door. I said, I know, but I've got condensation circles in the back booth at this bar. He drew a second ring beside mine, overlapping at the edge, and where they crossed the water made a pattern like a pledge. No particle went through both gaps, no consciousness collapsed away. Just two wet rings on a wooden bar, and the interference that they gave. And the bartender is wiping down the counter, getting close, and we're sketching like our lives depend on what the napkin knows. Smudging through the last dry corner, racing closing time, drawing the shape of everything from a glass of beer in a line. What if we've been looking at this wrong? What if the answer was a napkin all along? The tab is running but the line is getting clear. What if the simplest thing is what we couldn't hear? One more round before they shut the lights. What if we're right? What if we're right? Last call and the lights are coming up. The napkin's soaked and the pen is giving up, but the circle's there, the intersection's true. And tomorrow I'll remember what the water drew. He said, you know they'll call you crazy. I said, they'll call me worse than that. He said, then take the napkin home. I folded it and put it in my jacket like a map. What if we've been looking at this wrong? What if the answer was a napkin all along? The tab is running but the line is getting clear. What if the simplest thing is what we couldn't hear? Last round and they're shutting off the lights. What if we're right?